as you can see, we have the Ecoboost with the 6-speed here. Was checking on the back of the valve cover gasket to see if it was valve cover or what, and it looks like it is. Not sure if you guys can see up in there, the vacuum pump up there is actually dripping down on the turbo, which is causing the oil smell, which is no big deal. We'll get that taken care of another day once I order some parts. So all this little drippage of oil right here is coming from way up there and dripping down the turbo. As you can see, a little drop of oil right there straight above the turbo. Not a great design, but seals and all that stuff in there go out pretty easy to do. Just got to take this fender liner out, and then you're able to get to the back side of that, a few bolts, and it comes right out. Just got to clock it. Anyways, try to get another view without getting out of focus, but up there is the problem, so that solves that. We have a 2015 Ford F-150 3.5 Ecoboost. I showed you earlier how to look for the oil leak coming off the vacuum pump. So let's get started on how to fix it. You want to get this out of the way. Couple bolts, couple clips, and get this fender liner out of here to give yourself access to work, while also getting this wheel and tire off. Just give yourself a little bit more room. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's a pain to get this thing out. Sometimes you gotta kind of bend it, snap it around and get it out, but it's gotta come out. You can do it through the top side, but it's definitely gonna take you a little bit longer, and then you're gonna be laying on your back side. If you're like me, you're spoiled, you have a lift. It's easy. If not, jack the front end of the car up, still not that bad. Let's get into it. Fully out of the way, there's really no point. So move that out of the way pretty quick. I'll list all the tools in the comments that you'll need just to make the job a little easier. While you're in there, you can go ahead and check your brake pads and some other stuff. Once you have the wheel off, might as well. So now we're gonna get up in here. As you can see, the oil still dripping off there. That is your actual vacuum pump that you were looking for. Should be 3 bolts. One of them will not come all the way out. You have to actually pull it out when you pull the thing out. So essentially you need to move these lines up out of the way a little bit off that corner of the valve cover, which it looks like mine are not there anyway, or on the cover like they're supposed to be. So we'll put that back together. But it's also a good time to check turbo, make sure nothing's leaking or you don't see anything obvious. The coolant and oil lines are bad about leaking on these as well. So inspect everything while you're in here, but pump is right there. We will get it out in just a second. As you can see, it is unmounted. It's 3 8mm bolts, comes right out. Just be sure to get everything out of there. Wipe it clean so it's ready for the new seal. And then while you're here, clean up all this oil debris, especially that drips down the turbo that you're smelling a burnt smell from. This splash shield right here, and then obviously the bell casing down there. You can see where it's just been dripping. So this is the old one compared to the new one. You can see where it's just been oozing out. Looks like maybe the O-ring got pinched a weird way when it went back in, or it just wore out over time. But yep, we're gonna replace it with a new one and then reverse the steps to get back in. Pretty easy, guys. Longest thing is getting that liner and the wheel off. This step's not hard at all. First step to this real quick is if you do need to change your headlights on this side, now would be an optimal time to do it. Otherwise you have to take the front grille and paneling off, and it's kind of a pain. So if you're going to change to different headlights and or change bulbs, or you know you need the bulbs changed, this will be a perfect time to do it because you have easy access and you're already there. So we have it back together with the new part. You want to make sure that it's nice and snug in there, and it does take a minute to make sure you get the gear lined up just right. This gear right here, I didn't show that earlier. It's easy to turn and wiggle a little bit while you're in there, but it's easier to kind of get the old one just the same way lined up, so that way you don't have any issues when you go in if it's, you know, cocked or however. So it'll get a good nice seal. So I'm going to start it up and make sure she's not leaking, and then put it all back together, repeat steps, and call it a day. Don't forget to put your vacuum hose back on and tuck your wires out of the way. Vacuum hose and all the lines connected back. Let it get nice and warm and check in here to be sure. All right, as you can see, we have the truck back together. We verified there's no leaks, put everything back together, made sure our wiring, vacuum, and everything is connected back properly. Time to drop her down, get back to work, and hope to see you guys on the next video.